An 11-year-old boy gets arrested and convicted for murder? How could a child face a verdict that would change his life before it truly began? What went wrong in the system? And how did the truth finally come to light? Today, we're breaking down the case of Jordan Brown, a bewildering tale of justice, a divided community, and a boy caught in the whirlwind of the American legal system. Before we dive into the depths of this case, let's set the stage. The date: February 20th, 2009. The place: a small town in Pennsylvania. It was a day like any other until it wasn't. A Pennsylvania town faces a tragic event, and the aftermath leaves one child standing in the eye of the storm. Jordan, an 11-year-old with a life filled with school days, friends, and family, woke up to a situation that would leave the community in shock and disbelief. Now let's take a step back and look at the facts. What we know is this: Kenzie Houck, Jordan's soon-to-be stepmother, was tragically found no longer with us. She was almost 8 months pregnant, and this loss rippled through the hearts of many. The investigation took a turn when Jordan, a boy with no previous run-ins with the law, became the center of this tragic episode. Questions flew, but solid, undeniable answers seemed like whispers in the wind. You must be wondering, how does an 11-year-old become the prime suspect in such a serious case? Well, we wondered the same. Consider the evidence, or lack thereof, presented at that time. Forensic tests, witness statements, and the interpretations of the law all played a role. But we can't talk about the case without discussing what justice means for someone so young. Jordan's age, his experience, or rather his inexperience, added layers to an already complex situation. To say the community and the nation was split would be an understatement. Debates over the justice system's ability to fairly treat a minor raged. Fast forward through legal battles, appeals, and years of uncertainty, the waters of justice seemed murky at best. Hold on, let's not give it all away just yet. We've got the scoop on the twists, the turns, and the outcome that may just surprise you. So stick with us as we unpack the case of Jordan Brown, the evidence, the hearings, and the unprecedented legal journey of a child in the spotlight. Prepare to be intrigued, to question, and maybe even to understand a little more about the world of law and justice. Are you ready? Let's begin. Jordan Brown was raised by his father, Chris Brown, in a blended family environment. Kenzie Houck, his father's fiancée, lived with them along with her 2 daughters, one of whom was Jordan's younger stepsister. The family resided in a farmhouse in Wampum, Lawrence County. Jordan was known to be a typical kid who enjoyed outdoor activities and sports. He was also involved in his school's football team. The family owned firearms, and Jordan had received a youth shotgun as a gift, which later became a critical piece of evidence in the case. The dynamics within the household appeared normal to outsiders, but the prosecution suggested that Jordan harbored jealousy and resentment towards his soon-to-be stepmother and the unborn child, leading to the tragic event. In the quiet hours before sunrise on a chilly morning in 2009, a small Pennsylvania community was rocked by a harrowing discovery. It was a cold February morning when the police received a 911 call. Kenzie Houck, 8 months pregnant, was found dead in her bed. The only other people home at the time were her 2 young daughters and her fiancé's son, Jordan. The evidence? A shotgun shell found near the path Jordan walked with Houck's older daughter to get to their school bus, and a youth model shotgun that belonged to Jordan. The verdict seemed clear to the authorities, but was it too clear, too convenient? The prosecution's narrative was chilling. Jordan, they claimed, had executed a calculated act of murder, taking up a shotgun and ending the life of his future stepmother in cold blood. The alleged motive was as disturbing as the act itself: resentment and jealousy over the new baby that would soon join their family. Jordan's arrest sent ripples of disbelief throughout the nation. An 11-year-old facing a potential life sentence without parole was unprecedented. The trial that followed was a spectacle of legal maneuvering, with experts clashing over forensic evidence and the reliability of juvenile testimony. Now let's look at who Jordan Brown was in 2009. A regular kid, a student, a son. Yes, he was all of these. But the prosecution saw something else. At the heart of this case was a debate. Could a child commit such a grievous act? The evidence was perplexing. A shotgun shell, found near the family's home. Did it place Jordan at the scene, or was its placement a coincidence? Witness testimonies brought more questions than answers. Reports varied, and emotions ran high. The community suffered, seeking justice for Kenzie and her family, a desire for resolution. Let's break down the trial. Crucial to the whole process was a hearing to determine whether Jordan would face adult charges. Prosecutors argued the gravity of the crime overshadowed his age. Defense attorneys painted a different picture, a child, confused and scared, caught in a legal nightmare. Their plea: to have the case heard in juvenile court, where rehabilitation is the focus over punishment. Despite the legal tactics, years went by. Jordan grew from child to teen behind bars, without conviction. The debate raged on. What does a delay of justice mean for a minor, for anyone? Finally, in 2012, a new hearing took an important turn. For Jordan, it was the light at the end of the tunnel as the Superior Court ordered a juvenile court trial. In juvenile court, there is no jury. A judge listens and decides. The level of risk couldn't be higher. The prosecution's arguments remained the same, but now there was room for forgiveness, for understanding the mind of a child. Witnesses returned to the stand, experts weighed in on forensics. The defense argued mishandled evidence, questionable interrogation methods. There were strands of uncertainty woven throughout the trial. The turning point came with a psychologist's testimony. The stress on Jordan's mental health was highlighted, the developmental capabilities of a child examined. What was previously seen in black and white began to find shades of gray. After almost 4 long years, in 2013, a decision was delivered. Jordan was judged as a delinquent, the juvenile equivalent of a guilty verdict, but with a focus on rehabilitation rather than punishment. What followed was unheard of: retrials, motions, and appeals, each legal move evaluated under public and legal lenses. Jordan's lawyers fought hard against the decision. The years rolled on. The legal maze seemed endless. Finally, after almost a decade, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court made a shocking decision. The case was dismissed, and Jordan, now an adult, was released. This case leaves us with questions about the legal system, its handling of minors, the speed of justice, and the psychological impact on those involved. We've seen the arguments from every side, felt the tension of trials, and witnessed the weight of judgment. But most importantly, we've seen the human side of justice. As our story ends, remember that every case, every headline, involves real people with real lives. What we take away from Jordan's story reaches far beyond courtrooms and legal textbooks. Thank you for joining us on this journey through one of the most compelling legal stories of our time. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more explorations into the stories that impact our world and our justice system. Until next time, keep questioning, keep learning, and always seek the truth.